I was just finishing my thing. Yeah.
We're live.
Oh, hello, Internet, Twitch, YouTube, wherever we might be. This is Erudis World of Wonder, episode 101. We didn't kill anybody last episode. Yet. Episode's still going. We'll find out what happens next. Anyways, this is a attempting to be weekly D&D game where we try not to kill any NPCs, try not to kill any players, and try not to kill each other because people get mad at the DM. But since our players are ready, let's dive in to whatever shenanigans they manage to get themselves into.
We're just dead in the Feywild. The travel kills us.
Jack's coming too.
It might not even be a Feywild.
Alrighty. So the last we left our heroes, the Lost Legion. The party found themselves, due to various endeavors, within the city of Scorehalt, the main region of No Hayden. After disposing, I guess is a good word, of a curse that ended up on Zaris, our bard, the party proceeded to spend a week, or almost a week, waiting for him to recover. Once he had recovered, the one party member, our ranger, Shao, decided, okay, it's time to raid a library with a bunch of very high-level wizards, of which she got caught. After a very hasty getaway, the party proceeded to rapidly make their exit from Scorehalt, No Hayden, and the plane of existence that Erudis exists on. To where it might be, they don't know yet.
I totally heard the finger guns when you said hasty.
Into those little Patrick snaps. For SpongeBob.
I like those kind of puns.
With you guys in the space between spaces, wondering wherever your party may have ended up. Let's find out. So, just so I can get a more accurate fold of where you guys are ending up, can one of you roll a d10 for me?
Ooh,
Sorry,
I'll do
that's
it.
not me.
I'm doing.
Well,
Oh.
It's because you said my name. I
I
blame
didn't
you.
say anything.
I was gonna say it's always the most excited player that does the worst rolls.
3 and 1. Cool.
Maybe it
Yeah.
depends on how many bosses. I mean, how many...
No, maybe it's like how many feet away from land. So maybe we're just 1 feet away from land.
Alright, let's see. I gotta...
What if it's lava instead of land or 1 foot?
And my wings just grow back now. Give me just a minute of flying speed.
Alrighty. So, as you press the jewel that leads you to the Feywild. You begin to see the teleportation portal open up, and you can't exactly see through it because you don't feel a super strong connection. You keep pushing into the jewel, trying to focus in on the Feywild. But in your guys' rush to be wherever this may have ended up, you step into the portal and you feel a sudden shift, as if the entire portal just tilted on its side by 45 degrees, almost. Suddenly, the colors, this fog, this yellowish, green, effervescent dawn light that you're expecting to see suddenly changes. And suddenly, what you see before you is red.
Oh no! Oh no!
Like the sun.
You step out of the portal, and the first thing as you guys open your eyes, you see tall buildings of black obsidian rock and iron sprawled about you. The air thick with sulfur and decay. There's just ever slight tinge of putrescence.
Are we in the Nine Hells?
You don't know.
Let me pull up my sticky note of all the planes that I visited before coming here for like a short time.
Is-
Both points are
uh,
accurate.
You said it's a building that's in front of us?
It's not just a building. You are standing on a city street, it seems.
Oh, okay, so it's somewhat civilized.
And all around you, there are various buildings, varying heights, most of them spanning 5 or more stories.
Any creatures or beings around?
Make a perception check. As you look about, you don't necessarily see anybody, but what you do see are what looks to be cages, a stack of cages off to the one side. You look to be in like some sort of an alleyway. There's only about, at most, 10 feet between some of these buildings. It proceeds to go further and further, probably for about half a block or so before there seems to be an opening.
Does it look like it opens up onto like a main road?
Potentially, you don't know. There's a slight smog in front of you. This thick air, kind of hazy.
Yep. I'm gonna turn around to the party and you guys stay here. Let me check it out. As I'll just snap my fingers and go invisible.
Got work.
Okay.
And then while invisible, I'm going to stealth and approach what I think might be a main street, like where the said it opens up. Wow.
So you believe that you are stealthed. As you
Yes.
go up, you walk through, and as you're spending more time around here, you are starting to notice more details. The obsidian, some of the buildings are very, very nicely hewn stone. It's like this black, almost, almost pitch black granite with like these flecks of gray and other changes of color in them. Other buildings, though, are these almost cobbled together pieces of like obsidian looking rock.
Have I seen any architecture like this before?
Roll a history check. You would not know what this type of architecture was.
Okay.
So you keep going, keep going. You come up to the opening. You kind of look out, and you do see it as a wider street.
Anybody seem to be walking on this street?
With the perception check from before, I'll say we use that. You as you look out, you do see a few hooded figures off in the distance, kind of walking away from you. Probably 3 or 4. You can't necessarily tell at this distance.
How far?
70 to 80 feet from you.
They look like normal humanoid or like average humanoid size, like between 5. You know, like,
Semi-average humanoid, yeah. Within the natural
like,
range.
between like 5 and 6 feet or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Those are the only people I see.
Those are the only people that you see on this street. Although it opened up to a bigger street, this street's only 15 feet wide about. So it still must be like a side road.
Is there any? Is it quiet or do I hear anything? Now that I'm on a bigger street.
Make another perception check, because this isn't sight anymore.
It's been
As you listen in, and kind of hear off in the distance, maybe carts? Chains? There's almost this echo between the streets of activity. It's almost omnipresent. You can't necessarily tell exactly where it is coming from, whether it's coming from your left side down the street or to the right side down the street. You're not exactly sure.
You said how tall were these buildings?
They range anywhere from like 4 stories, 4 or 5 stories, all the way up to 10, 20, some of them. Like some of them really span tall.
I want to look my immediate surroundings. What's the shortest building near me?
I would say across the street, maybe 2 blocks down, there's a 4-story building.
Does it look like something Ruby would be able to climb and get on top of?
Potentially. I mean, you're very far away. You can't necessarily tell the texture of the building and whether or not there's like good footholds or whatnot. You'd have to get closer.
I'll go across the street and stealth. I continue stealthing over to that building.
Okay. So you get over to that building, and you look down the alleyway, and it seems like there's a decent way for Ruby to potentially get up the building.
Okay.
Between outcroppings and little ledges and things like that in the architecture.
I'll summon Ruby and have tell her to get on top of the building.
Okay. I will need a dexterity check from Ruby. See how well she's able to climb up.
+2. Wow. Fuck. Kidding me?
So
She does have a climbing speed of 30 feet, though, if that matters.
okay, no, that'll help. So she's able to get up quickly, and then she goes to jump onto like the next perch, and you know those moments when cats don't get the grip that they were expecting, and they kind of fall like.
And yeah, their feet kind of just flop instead of jumping.
Yep. No,
Yeah.
that's exactly what happened to her. She just kind of like ready to jump, pounce. She slips, and she only goes like a foot off of the ledge that she currently's on, and it's almost like Wile E. Coyote. She just kind of like hangs there for a second, looks down, and then. Oof.
It's okay. Cats always land on their feet.
Yes. Although, if she had a climbing speed of 30, I would say she probably got her climbing speed. So she fell from 30 feet. I'm gonna say make another dexterity check, or dex save for her. Also, do we know how many hit points she has?
That's what I was
Did you-
looking at.
Did you roll for it?
I
Or...
did a long time ago, but I don't remember
Okay.
what it was.
Um,
I can
I'll
just roll for it again.
say no. I'll say 4 hit points, because I think
I
that's
think-
the max a cat can have.
No, max is 3 because familiars are it's always 1d4 minus 1, minimum of 1.
Gotcha.
Max,
Okay.
so max hit points will be 3.
Okay. So yeah, just do a dex save and we'll see how it goes.
Okay. And would I be able to? Actually, it doesn't matter. I don't know. I would say I couldn't. I can't inspire on a reaction. I don't think it's a bonus action.
Yeah, it's a bonus action. You would have needed to inspire her before.
Yeah. Ew. There we go.
Okay. So, you start taking damage at falls more than 10 feet.
Normal people.
Normal people. Your cat, however, I'm functioning as the monk's slow fall. So, at 30 feet, would be... I just want to know how many dice I need to roll. Let's see. Monk, slow fall, where is that? There we go. Slow fall.
I think they get a reduced damage equal to like 1d10 plus their level or something.
Yeah, you reuse your reaction, reduce any falling damage. You take by an amount equal to 5 times your monk level.
Oh, 5 times monk level.
So yeah, so I'll say, since she's technically a level 1 cat, she won't take any damage.
And
So,
seeing how she flopped, I'll give her words of encouragement and inspire her and tell her to try again.
okay. So I'll need another check from her.
We will use the inspiration dice. Jesus fuck.
Your cat is not having a good time right now.
No, I think my inspiration dice is a d10 right now.
Yeah, I believe it is a D10.
Yeah, D10 at 10th level. It doesn't go to a D12 until 15th level. There we go.
Okay, so it's a 12.
Yeah.
Okay, so she manages to get up there. Kind of
Okay.
knowing the path now, she makes that jump finally. She gets up the rest and she's on the roof, it seems.
All right. Once she's on the roof, I'm gonna, even though staying invisible, I'm just going to find like just an out of the way place where I can sit down, just like probably just down the alley or something.
Okay.
And I'll sit down and go into her vision and kind of control her,
Okay.
so I can see what she sees from a higher viewpoint.
Alrighty. So roll a perception check for your cat. Alright.
Average.
As she looks down, she sees buildings. It's a city, and you can't really see much farther than the next block or so because so many of the other buildings are taller than this one. But it seems, you know, like the city goes on and on and on and on. You're not exactly quite sure where it ends. You do see in the far distance, however, this massive black obsidian tower.
Look familiar at all?
Roll
Or never
another,
seen it?
roll another history check. You do not know.
Okay. Well, I'll bamf her back into her pocket dimension, and then I'll head back to the party.
Alrighty.
Arriving back at the party. So I'll come out of invisibility. Don't know exactly where we are. Hello, motorcycle.
That was somebody's car.
Sounded like a motorcycle to me, but don't know exactly where we are. We're in some sort of city. Obviously, all the buildings seem to be made out of this obsidian material. Seems to go on for a while. Pretty big city, I guess. And off in the distance, and I'll point in the general direction that I saw it in. That way, there's a giant tower. And I saw some people walking down the streets, but they were hooded, and I couldn't see what race they were. But they were humanoid.
Okay. It's interrupted but a very long sending spell. Do I happen to know where we are, perchance?
I would say roll another history check.
It's like I either want to say it's the Nine Hells or the Element.
Can I assist?
Sure.
That's a wrong check.
Okay,
Oh.
well, be glad
Well-
that she assists.
Okay.
What's your history bonus?
Oh, it's a history. Okay. What's for?
Oh,
It's
so
the
it's,
same.
so it's the same. So it'd be a 22.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was asking, because you just rolled the wrong thing.
Always keep the same rolls anyway, and just like re-add your modifiers.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're essentially rolling with like triple advantage.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna use that first roll, especially since it was the same anyways. So Alavar, you aren't exactly able to pull together what exactly it might be or where you might be, but Shao, you're like, well, I know what this smells like. This smells like the Nine Hells. And then you go, you kind of like look around, and then you kind of think to yourself, and you go, oh shit. We must be in the city of Dis.
Of Dis?
Of this.
Well, we're in Dis City.
I was about to make a joke.
I beat you to it.
I'll just go take my D10 of psychic damage.
we up in this bitch.
20 points of psychic damage.
So, I'm sorry, where are we exactly?
This.
We're in the Night House.
These. No.
Can, we go back to not Hells?
I mean, we can try, but while we're here, we might as well get the stone.
This is what this
we
plane you don't have the stone for.
No, we,
Oh.
we don't have the stone for this. Not yet.
It's terribly hard to come by.
Well, as far as what we were told, it just has to have the essence of the plane and then be polished down into a stone that fits. So,
So-
who knows?
This
We
piece of so
find-
this obsidian that's in every single building. Can we just break off a piece and make an obsidian stone?
I'm not sure.
I mean, if it's that easy, I can go break it for you. That's no problem.
I mean, who am I? Who am I to know about magic?
Well, it has to represent the
So-
plane itself. I'm not sure if the obsidian would do that.
I mean, everyone's building out of it.
So
Also,
Ruby?
Zars, have you opened that gift I gave you yet?
I haven't had the time, obviously.
Well, you do now. You know, I did become a criminal for it.
Are we safe? Like where we are currently? DM?
I mean, there's nobody around you, it seems.
Okay. We're
when
not
I-
in the middle of the street though.
No,
No,
we're
no.
down an alley,
Yeah, it's like an
Okay.
alleyway.
and I didn't.
Okay.
I haven't seen anybody except for those three figures. I heard some carts off in the distance too, but it doesn't seem like this city, or at least this portion of the city that we're in, is very busy.
Yeah. At the very least, it's safe to say that we are probably not welcome here.
No,
So
It's
this
better
isn't
assume
like
not.
well, I might be. I could go
You
unnoticed, most likely.
so could shall, but
Sorry, my graphics
Well-
driver loaded, so your the last sentence stuttered.
I said I could go unnoticed, but and he said so could you.
Yep, I sure can.
I mean, if I put on some dark makeup, I could pass.
Well,
I mean, I can cast Pass
gonna
Without a
sing.
Trace.
When we start moving, maybe.
Well, wait, did you already describe to us like the hooded people?
yeah, I told you I saw 3 hooded people, but they were walking away from me. But they looked humanoid, about average size.
I mean, we could put on hoods out of all and maybe be okay.
Unless someone
Okay.
saw your face.
Either way, I'll ruffle into my bag. I think I have oh yeah, I have a winter's coat.
But yeah, I guess I will. Whatever the book is that Shao handed me while we're trying to figure out how we're going to get around the city, I will look at I'll take it out of my bag and look at the title and kind of thumb through it.
Well, you're not even able to open up the book.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what?
Is there
There's
a
a lock.
on it?
Yeah, there's a lock on the side of it.
What is the book called? What's the title?
There is no title. It is just a leather-bound purple book, and
Oh.
the edges of the paper are this golden filigree, like this powdered gold.
How intricate does this lock look?
Roll an investigation check.
Good. I'm good at these.
You take a look at it, and this is probably one of the more complex things you've seen. It's got, you know, tiny ints small
Cease?
details. Yeah,
Is
thank
that the
you.
word you're looking for?
Yes. um, it's got all of these small details in it.
Oh, I just realized.
Hmm.
All of the, I mean, I might be able to discern the same thing with a 13. I still have 3 exhaustion levels of exhaustion. So all these rolls are at disadvantage.
Wow.
But I don't know if I would be able to notice the same things about the lock with the 13. But
Probably not then. It's a lock. And also Shao, it it has a lock on it, but it has chain. Like it's chained closed, but you can still open it a bit and you can kind of see into the pages, but if you were to actually try to like open it, you wouldn't be able to actually flat fold it and start reading the entire page. You can kind of open it up halfway and look into it and see what the symbols inside of it look like, but
Got it.
I'm gonna cast a quick detect magic
okay.
and see if it's enchanted or like if the lock's enchanted or anything. Or the book
The
is.
lock is not enchanted, but the pages give off a slight, you know, dusting of magic.
Okay. If the lock's not magical, I'm gonna hold it out to Shao and say, "Care to pick this lock for me?" I'd cast knock, but I don't know that. I really don't know. Want to bring attraction to us.
What'd you say?
I asked you to open the lock on the book
Oh.
because I don't want to cast knock and have everyone within 100 feet of us hear it.
Okay, silent.
I need to borrow your thieves' tools.
What happened to yours?
Wait. Wait, let me check the shared sheet, because I think I was having somebody else carry them. Because they are not on my inventory.
But I can cast silence if you want to cast knock.
Well, especially being in the Nine Hells, we might want to conserve our magic in case we get into a sticky situation.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to my thieves' tools, so I'm just gonna
I'm
say that
pretty
something
sure-
happened to them back in the line. So
I'm pretty sure they broke on you.
I thought that I bought
I-
Zarus's and we
I-
bought 2 new sets. I thought that's what happened.
You broke mine a while ago, but and I remember you buying me a new set, and I still have mine.
Yes.
I thought I bought 2 new sets, but I have no idea what happened to mine after that. So I'm just gonna say that they got lost somewhere. I need to borrow Zarus's.
Whatever. I'll hand her my thieves' tools, and inspire her by saying not to break my thieves' tools.
Okay. A little bit of tough love, you know.
Yes.
Then I will try to pick the lock. What's your inspiration die?
D10.
16.
Unfortunately, a 16 does not do it.
Yeah, I figured it
You
wouldn't.
you try to open the book and you get the first 2 tumblers, 3 tumblers, and you think you caught the 4th, and then you start to bend, and the pick is actually bending, and you catch it right before it would snap.
All right. You can go with Alavar's idea, and I'll take my lockpick back. And
I'll cast Silence centered on Soros.
yeah, I think I'm pretty sure knock is verbal, so I just need to be outside of the silent spell and cast it inside the spell. Let me see.
Maybe.
Yeah, knock is just verbal. So I'll set the book on the ground and back out of the silence radius.
Uh, 20 foot.
I'll set the book on the ground, back up 20 feet, and then I'll cast knock on the book.
Okay.
Or knock on the block of the book, rather.
No sound can be created
Yep.
or passed through.
So you cast silence, he casts knock, and the lock breaks open, and expecting the loud noise that you've heard before, you don't hear it. Silenced.
And then I'll go back and pick up the book.
Alright.
And I will open it to the front page and start panning through the pages.
How long are you taking to look through the book?
Well, right now I'm just looking. I just want to look through the pages until I can figure out. Like, I want to just like figure out what type of book it is first.
Okay. Looking through, you can tell that it's a spell book of sorts. But it kind of goes into the creation of the spell and the intricacies of it and such. It's not a super thick book, but all the topics seem to be running to very similar. Is this all one spell, potentially? You're
What is
not
the-
sure.
What does the front page say?
Orochimaru, you just stole the immortality scroll.
The first page doesn't necessarily start with anything. It just starts going into description and explanation.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I'll have to take time to read this later. Maybe once we get somewhere safe. Or safer than this. I guess, however, I could. I don't want anyone running into it accidentally. But if we wanted to find a very out of the way place where I could cast my dome, that no one would run into it, then Shao could maybe do some scouting around the city, seeing as how she can look like anyone she wants, and I can read the book, and maybe Alavar can, cast sending to other people, see if anyone knows anything about this city. Do you know anyone that's an expert on the Nine Hells?
I don't know nothing besides the fact that the name, right?
You do know that the city of Dis is on one of the higher levels of Hell. Still an extremely dangerous place. You are not sure where in the city you might be, or potentially what contacts you could potentially reach.
wouldn't say that I know anybody who has expertise.
Yeah, I mean, you've never really had experience working with people who are experts in the hells.
Well, if you want to sit and read, the best I can do is scout the area of Luna.
That could also
Just-
work.
Just to see, get our boundaries, where the people are.
Not sure if it'd help, but I could maybe ask my ancestors. Maybe one of them might know anything, something.
Yeah. I mean, anything's possible at this point. That'd be a good idea. We're
Shall
kind of we're in uncharted territory here.
shall just be on watch.
Well, I can kind of be on watch while I read. I was thinking Shao. Well, if Luna sees anything, Shao can go and investigate it, seeing as how she can blend in very easily.
Okay.
Uh, the area we're in right now, how far away is it from like the bigger street that I went to?
You're probably about 40 feet?
Okay, and then does this alley continue in another direction, or
Yes. So it goes past you from the street, and then it splits off in two. You haven't explored those other two directions yet.
I want to look down those other two directions and see what I see.
Okay.
So I'll just like walk to the intersection and look either way.
So as you go out and you take a look, they're both very similar. You know, nothing really special.
Do they look like they also lead to like bigger streets?
Maybe it might lead to another alleyway. You don't necessarily see anybody walk past as you're, looking down the alleyways. So there's nothing really to gauge how large those streets might be.
Okay. Well, I guess this intersection might be the best place to do it. Probably good as place as any. This area doesn't seem to be that busy anyway. I can make the dome look like nothing's even here.
All right. So you're setting up the dome.
Yeah, I'll motion everyone to come closer so that way they're inside the dome when I cast it, so that way they can get in and out.
Yep. Are you doing it instantly or ritually?
I'm just gonna instant cast it because I don't want anyone to happen to walk by as I'm ritual casting it.
Okay. So you insta-cast it. It goes off. So you have a bubble around you. What color is it?
Third level spell. So that's 5 points. One second. I'm just gonna have it be the same color as the obsidian around us. I think my roll 20 just crashed.
Crap.
Oh, nope, there we go. We're good. Just had a hiccup. Did you hear me before, though?
Just let's double check. Let's just make sure.
Oh, yeah, okay. So my computer is hiccuped. No, I said I wanted it to, like, what's the color difference between, like, the obsidian buildings around us and the ground?
So the ground is kind of like this stale gray, almost, slate color.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
We'll
Yeah,
make it
because
the
the
same
one
color as
building
the ground.
is obsidian, and the other building to your right is that dark granite.
Yeah, we'll make it the same color as the ground. So it just kind of like maybe looks like a bump or something. I don't know. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
I can hear you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
I was saying no. No one was saying anything after I finished. I'm like, did I crash? I don't know.
Nah, you're all good.
Okay. So dome sets up, right?
Yep. No issues there.
Okay.
So, um, so you're just reading what's in this book?
Yeah, and I'll summon because I won't be able to have my full focus on keeping watch. I won't summon her on top of the dome, but I will summon Ruby to just walk either if you can either sit on my shoulder or just like patrol the edge of the dome, just like walking in a circle, looking out for signs of anyone coming close.
Okay. Yep, that's perfectly fine.
But yeah, but she's just going to be inside the dome, so no one can see her. And then and then I'll sit down and start to just read the book from page 1.
All right.
So you said that I know what city we're in. Does that imply that I know about where in the Nine Hells we are?
We're
Well,
I mean,
Like what layer, essentially?
Alavar knows we're in one of the higher levels of hell.
yeah, he knows that we're in one of the higher levels. You only went through Avernus, so you don't exactly have.
Which is the very top.
You know you're in the city of Dis. From what Alavar remembered from a book that he read.
Isn't it pronounced Avernus?
Yes, it's
Avernus. Avernus.
Cool.
Descendant Avernus. Because Avernus is actually the angel that is protecting that layer of hell. Well, fallen angel.
Did you just say a fallen angel? Maybe we can be friends.
Well, actually, no. Zariel guards Avernus.
All right, Gundor, let's go.
I just spread out my
Let's
wings.
go befriend them
Caca!
for a whole 60 seconds.
You guys ready to fight a Sierra 26?
Hell yeah.
Nah.
Because
Anyway.
we kind of have to kill, Zariel, and Tiamat to get to the second layer of hell.
Or we can just port out of here. Either way, I'm just reading my book. I'm gonna take however long it. Hopefully, I can finish the book within the 8 hours of the dome being up. And then
Sleeping?
I mean, if you wanted
Wait,
to take a
what?
short rest, you
Okay.
could.
yeah, you could totally take a short rest or a long rest if you needed to.
Do I get any of my healing abilities back on a short rest?
Alright, well, I will scout around with Luna in the meantime.
Yeah, in a moment after I check this, I'm gonna consult my spirits.
And my thinking was, since you weren't paying attention, if Luna finds anything particularly interesting or something that might help us figure out where exactly we are, or something that could help us in any other way, since you can blend in, you could go check it out.
Got it. Well, actually, I can't blend in because, folks. They're all wearing hoods.
Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, you can stealth and find out what inhabitants.
Yeah, I can
you
go
know.
scout ahead, but that's not blending in.
No, but if Luna might be able to see. Uh, actually, before Luna goes out, have Luna come back.
And she's goes flying back real quickly right before she exits the alleyway.
I'm gonna cast invisibility on Luna. Ravens are probably not that common down here. Probably best if she's not seen.
Fucking right, I can fly low. Alright.
So, Luna will have invisibility for an hour.
Alright. Double tap me when that's spell.
I'll let you know when she has 10 minutes left.
Right. I cast Death Word on Luna. You touch a creature.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna know. It's not worth that much. So sorry, Luna. You didn't hear that.
Sad Luna noises.
Yeah, whenever there's a moment, do want to try to consult with the spirits.
Okay.
You can do Luna first.
Or whoever you want to start with.
Yeah, you don't. I don't care. You can go first, my man.
Alrighty. So let's see. Who would be the easiest to start with? You know what? Let's just start with Gundor.
I knew it because I'm gonna ask a question. You're gonna go no.
Well, that's at
Alright.
least fairly straightforward because it's a yes/no kind of answer.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I'll get into a meditation stance, and I'll sit there for 10 minutes, trying to cast augury. I don't really know who the best person for this. I haven't talked to Zara in a minute. I'll try to focus on Zara.
Okay. So you see Zalra appear before you. He just kind of is silently there for a little bit, just kind of like looking around, and then he sits down next to you. Is there something I can help you with?
Hopefully. Well, due to that medallion that Shao has over there, well, here in the Nine Hells, as they called it, didn't know if you had any experience with that, but I was curious to see if you could lend me a hand here.
Well, I mean, it depends. What exactly do you need?
Well,
I might have the answer.
have you ever been here before, for starters?
He kind of like looks around the place. Well, to the gods, I hope I never end up here. But no, I've never in my past life been here.
Okay. Well, we need something from here. Basically, and I I tell Zara about the medallion that Shao carries and that we need to find something of this plane that has its essence, and I want to know if he could give me any type of idea of what to try to look for, if he would have any idea.
To like discern exactly where you are, or
No, I'm asking like we need to find an object that has this plane's essence.
okay,
What type of object would we be looking for? Like, I was wondering if he could give any aid to that.
okay. Kind of thinks to himself, kind of looks around, looks inside his cloak, looks inside the other side of his cloak, kind of brings it down around himself again. I would say what you're looking for is around, but maybe not within the vicinity that you think, physically. You may make some trades to potentially acquire such an object, but it might take a little while. And I don't know how long you were planning on staying around here.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to be here for long, but Shell might want to stay here until she finds what she's looking for. Is Zara still wearing the hood? Like, is he still not showing his face at all?
He's not exactly showing his face. It's kind of still covered a bit, but
I have one more thing to ask. Are you gonna tell me why you have those chains and why you always wear the hood?
well, I mean, the hood is quite obvious, I hope. You know, someone who has dealt in my doings isn't exactly keen to be recognized from far away. And usually those who you see up close do not live very long. The chains, however, it's just personal preference. Branding, if you might.
You're such a mystery.
What can I say? It's in your blood.
One day, I want to know your story. But for now, uh, thank you for your time. And I release the hold.
Alrighty.
Well, um, found out a little bit of something. Is Alvar and Zara around me?
Oh, sorry, muted. I guess I'm not.
I mean, all of
I'm
you
not.
guys are inside the bubble, so you're not too
Yeah.
far.
I'm not consciously there at the moment, I guess.
Right, right.
But everyone else is.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought Shout already left.
No, I'm still here.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, Shao is still here.
Okay. Tell Shao and Zaris. So Zara did say it probably wouldn't be too difficult to find what we need for you, Shao. He said you might even be lucky and be able to maybe even trade for something.
Well, what exactly are we going to trade?
I didn't ask.
Trading with fiends and devils usually involves souls, and I'm not prepared to give up mine.
Well, I mean, there's a city. Well, we're in a city. Maybe it's like a shop. Maybe we have to give something like of our items for you to get
Oh.
what you need.
And I don't think we have the right currency for this realm.
Gold is, well, valuable in every realm.
I mean, the Feywild uses a completely different kind of currency. Why wouldn't the Nine Hells?
Well, you see, demons sort of like gold, so.
Like their clicky rocks. Oh, I'm not there. Caca.
Well,
So-
not demons, fiends. Let me correct myself.
He did say it would probably take some time, though. It probably won't be something we'll be able to get in, like, quite possibly maybe a few hours. It might take, I don't know, maybe days.
That's fine. We were running from the prime material plane, and now we're here. I need to complete this necklace, and getting the stone is a way to do so.
One thing leads to another, I guess.
Okay, so how do we plan to get around this place then? Because I know you might be fine, and Shao, you should be pretty much fine with you being able to change, but um, all I can think about what I could do is wear a hood. I don't know if that would.
I mean, worst comes to worst, I can turn you and Alavar invisible, and you can follow us around.
Okay. Well, what do we want to do?
Well, right now I'm going to finish reading this book while Luna scouts the area.
Yep. Which we'll do Shao next. Is there anything you were doing in particular?
Well, I was just waiting for everybody to finish their stuff so we could get information.
Okay. Easy enough. Alavar, you're next. Okay. So,
Luna's going Mach 10. She's invisible. She's flying low. Maybe not low to start out with, but yeah, we're just gonna see what's out there.
okay.
See if we can find people.
Yeah. Keep in mind,
Prowl.
she's invisible, not silent.
Yeah.
Oh, where's that bird?
But she could. I was like, she could, or she could have a stealth check with advantage, though.
Do I need to? Yeah, it's probably.
So I would say you're flying, fairly high as compared to you being on the ground. Make a perception check with Luna.
It's +3.
Ravens have advantage on perception checks that rely on sight.
Nope. I really need to make her now. You just should have made it her out. Ooh.
Yeah, you do. You need an owl. Does she have any bonus to wisdom at all?
Yeah, +3.
Oh, okay, so 5.
Yeah, it's a city. It's a big fucking city.
Okay.
And there really isn't much detail that you can really point out past that
Nice.
right now.
You can see the tower.
Do I
Right?
see the tower? I
Yeah,
see
you
the
do
big
see the tower. I mean, you'd have to roll the natural one essentially to not see the tower.
Pretty close.
Okay.
It's a raven right now, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna fly towards the tower and sort of get lower to sort of meet the rooftops.
Okay. Alrighty.
I wonder if Anthony was prepared for us to stay here instead of just bamfing out.
Well, I mean, you're not exactly sure if you're going to be able to do that or not. So before we get any farther with that, let's see what Zaris is doing, because these two are going to take a little bit longer.
I'm reading the book.
You are reading the book, so
Yes.
I'm gonna say make an investigation check, but this is how quickly, or if you want, let's just do a straight intelligence roll to see how well you're understanding this material.
Is it investigation or intelligence or just
No, it's just intelligence.
Okay.
I was thinking investigation, and I was like, yeah, it's not exactly right. Okay. It's actually coming along pretty dang well. You looking through, it starts with the dissertation of, the magical means of, the weave and this, that, and the other thing. Pretty standard academic stuff. You get bored, you move on. Then it talks about different elements of changing sources of light and darkness and things like that. So it talks about the light cantrip, and it starts to get into the darkness spell. It talks about the that one spell with the 4 globs of light that just kind of like float in the air.
dancing lights.
Dancing lights. It talks about that and how there could potentially be methods of producing a cantrip similar to that, but for darkness, and it keeps going forward and forward, mainly focusing on light and dark.
That's really cool.
Yeah. But that's as far as you get so far. If you want to keep pushing forward, you're at about 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna keep reading. I wasn't gonna read the whole book.
Okay.
I want to know what's in this thing. So.
Alrighty. So an hour passes. He's still reading. Alavar, your stuff. So
Yeah.
your next thing. Do you want to focus on a particular area that you want to look at, or?
He said he was flying towards the tower, I think.
I'm still flying in the direction towards the tower, a
Yep.
bit lower to
just
the ground.
Didn't know if there was anything in particular we're trying to look
In
for.
in specifics, just I want to find some people. Like I want to see a town being a town. In that
Okay.
aspect.
Okay. So you fly closer to the streets. Make a perception check with Luna. She is no longer invisible though, because it has been an hour.
Oh right, I forgot. I forgot that I didn't cat. You said you did say that you said that it was an hour, but it didn't register. Yeah. I would have warned Alavar that the spell was gonna fade when it was about a couple minutes before it was gonna go fade.
Okay.
Because he asked me to.
So you get closer to the streets, and you do see figures down in the streets, but the thing that's more disconcerting is the fact that you've been flying for almost an hour, and it doesn't seem like you've gotten any closer to the tower.
Oh,
but the city's moved underneath of you. Like, you know you're a distance away, but you're no closer to the tower.
well then.
I mean, it could just be a trick of the eyes when you're really, really, really far away from something, and it doesn't look like you get any closer to it, even though you do.
Okay, and all I see are just a few people about.
So do you want to see about turning around with Luna and heading back, or do you want to keep pushing forward to the tower?
Fuck it, yeah. Yeah, I might as well. I still haven't found anything of value to the group. I'll keep going.
Okay. Shower, Gundor, is there anything you guys want to do?
I'm still waiting for information. I suppose
Yeah.
in the meantime, I'll just play with Skid here.
Okay.
I'll just um silently meditate, just waiting as well.
Alrighty. So, make another intelligence check, Saurus.
Better than the
Damn,
left.
you are pushing through this book.
I'm a spellcaster. What can I say? I understand magic.
You're a lore bard.
Exactly.
So, the next portion of this book, it begins to talk about, like, the higher level spells that deal with light and darkness, the daylight spell. There's a talk about the method of producing areas of lack of magic and you know, areas of effects that aren't necessarily instantaneous but actually exist for a period of time. You know, things like the druid spell control weather, how it's this wide berth of weather patterns that's able to be manipulated and twisted to whatever the controller's whim. And they start to explore the concepts within all of those spells. So it starts breaking down into the equations of the light spell, the darkness spell, the control weather spell, you know, the intricacies of the somatic and verbal components. And it starts to get extremely, extremely dense and technical, but you manage to hold on. You know, you're reading right through this and breezing through it.
How far am I through the book right now?
You are about half to about 2/3 of the way through.
Cool.
So, if anybody would like to do anything, other than that, I'll roll for Alavar's visual of the streets.
Okay. You said you'd roll?
No. You roll. Like either someone can do something or you'll roll. 12. Okay. So staying low, you do see what look to be humanoid shapes. But you also see things that aren't exactly humanoid shapes. You see one group that you're walking or you're flying past. You notice a creature that walks on all fours and has large spines growing out of it at various points. Next to it, you see two humanoid figures standing roughly 7 to 8 foot tall, completely covered with chains. And the three of them are walking, the two flanking the large quadrupedal creature. You see all the other figures kind of give these creatures a wide berth. But past that, you don't necessarily see anything interesting other than this creature and its, compatriots walking with it.
Okay. We probably want to do something else at this point. If I leave Luna and just tell her to follow them, can I go back into Luna's vision, or is she too far away at that point?
No, yeah, she should. We said what? It was 1,000 feet for you to be able to communicate with her.
Yeah.
I would say she would still be outside of your range then.
Okay. Well, I will just. I'll go back to the group if that's the case. Well, actually, nothing interesting. Except we are definitely in the Nine Hells. And I'll describe what I saw to them. Like a dinosaur, perhaps.
Hey, did you
What?
It was a large, four-legged, scaled to the teeth. Two, almost want to say giants, were walking side by side in chains. Might not have been giants, but they're at least 8 feet tall.
What did you say it was?
I'll do like a minor illusion of what I saw.
Okay.
What is it?
Yeah, you want to read that description again?
Yeah, I wasn't. I was only half paying attention.
Oh
So.
no, that's okay. It's okay.
It was my fault because there's a blister on my foot that I'm debating on popping.
Ew. So, it's kind of like a quadruped walking, humanoid shape. It's got dried skin stretched across its almost skeletal frame. The skin is basically pulled super, super tight to whatever little bit of flesh is underneath of it. It's almost got the shape of like a scorpion, almost. But it's stark white, and it's got spines all over it, almost these bony protrusions coming out of its spine and tail area.
How tall did it appear to be?
Maybe 7-8 feet on its quadruped.
Okay.
And there's no idea what it is, correct?
Um,
It's not a pit fiend.
no, it's not.
Zos,
Yeah.
do you think you could handle getting into combat if we were to go up against something like that?
I'd rather not at the moment.
Part of me is also still disintegrated.
Okay, so let's go ahead and plan the rest for the day or till a night's sleep. I don't even know if there is a night. Nah, there's no night. Should we find somewhere safer or?
Well, we're in the dome right now.
Okay.
You could have how many hours has it been?
It's been
Successive.
2 hours.
You could maybe have Luna scout for an even more out of the way place than we're in right now. Then we could go and set up the dome there.
Okay. That's a
Have
good
we-
idea.
Have we
Yeah.
looked inside these buildings at all? Like, what if they're vacant?
Sounds more like a Zars or Shell type thing.
What's the next thing?
Shell, do you want to go break into one of these houses to see if they're vacant?
I mean,
Does it,
anybody got a
does it, have,
drink?
does it have a window?
I have a jug of rum if you want.
Works for me.
Alright, I'll give her the alchemical jug. Just yell rum in it whenever you're ready.
I'm gonna yell absinthe instead.
Okay.
I don't know.
Wait, does it actually fill up with absinthe?
Do you give it a sniff?
She passed out.
I mean, if you yell, you're gonna say absinthe and you open it up. It smells as though there's absinthe in it.
What is absinthe? Just pure alcohol, right?
It's one of the
It's-
strongest alcohols known, and it's actually pretty poisonous if you have too much of it, so... Huh.
You're not planning to drink that, are you?
I mean, it's a good way to get drunk, isn't it?
Or die, but that's up to you.
Whoa, hang on. We're not in the material plane here, Shao. You getting drunk and then possibly getting in trouble is not a good idea.
I mean, let's be honest, I do the most damage when I'm drunk.
Oh, okay. Then save it for when we have a fight.
Yeah. Because I understand you've enjoyed drinking and it's a nice thing, but it's a moderation type thing, not a everyday thing.
Oh, did I also mention that absinthe is also an alcohol that's known for, like, having elusive effects like psilocybin?
Okay, let's go drug the dinosaur then.
It's literally alcohol mixed with mushrooms. Like, that's quite literally what absinthe is.
Wormwood, actually. But it's actually not like it used to be back in the day, like the 1400s.
I know, that they've, like, reworked it, like, recently, but isn't this 1400s absinthe?
tripping balls.
It-
Or is
it
this
could
like
be
modern
that.
day absinthe?
I mean, I'll say it's modern day absinthe.
I
'cause
tell
that's
you
the
what.
only- that's the only absinthe I've ever drank. So
Okay. If this is the back in the day, I understand why everybody thinks there's wizards and clerics and stuff.
yeah, everybody's just drunk on absinthe.
Yeah. The entire campaign.
Okay.
Yeah, this entire campaign is just you guys drunk at a table in, cowed back here, just completely plastered off absinthe.
How to break the fourth wall, fifth wall.
Right.
Back at level 3.
You're at like the 7th or 8th wall at that point, I think.
Yeah. Alright, well. I say we can sleep here then. If we just want to risk it.
Real campaign
I mean,
start.
let me go look at one of the houses, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna have Luna search for a more isolated place.
Did I mention that I can't go invisible anymore today?
Oh, that's a
I'll
problem.
tap her and make her invisible.
Oh, wonderful. Then I will go find a house and sneak in. Well, let's start with finding a house.
Well, I'll just look at one of the essentially let's do like the building that's like right outside the alley that we're in.
All right, so you are stealthed.
I will go up to the house and I will peek in through the iron barred windows.
Okay. It is dark inside.
Alright, I will walk over to the front and try to open the door.
Okay. The door is locked, as this is an alleyway, and yeah, it's an alleyway. So
I will use
locked.
Cyrus's thieves' tools to unlock the door, or attempt to unlock the door, as I never gave them back.
No, I took them back.
Wait, when? Oh, well, I'm gonna go back then to Cyrus and ask him for his thieves' tools again. Did you want me to find a house or not?
Don't break them as I inspire her again.
If it happens, it happens. And then I will take the tools back over to that alley door and then try to pick the lock.
Alrighty. Okay. So you are able to unlock the door and open it up.
Is there anybody inside?
From what you can tell, this just seems to be some sort of a storeroom. There's like this dark, almost blood red wood, that are in the shape of crates and barrels and things like that. It's just kind of like sacks of poorly drawn together burlap and other things.
And these are in front of the door or just in the room?
In the room.
Okay.
Oh.
I will open the next door.
Wait, how
the
big's that
next-
initial room?
It's only like
Closet size, probably.
10 foot wide, and then like maybe 15 foot deep.
Oh, it's about the size of our computer room.
You open up to the next room, and what you see is a living space, like a living room and stuff like that.
Is there anybody in here?
Not that you can tell. You do see a couple of like candelabras that are lit on the wall, bringing in like this soft light, but nothing really denoting anyone's been in here for a while. No food or drink or anything like that.
But the candelabras are lit?
But the candelabras are lit, yes.
Okay, I will leave and close both the doors behind me.
Okay.
Go back to the group and say, the houses are occupied.
Well, I mean, we can just take this one.
You do
They're
know that not
unoccupied?
only demons live in the Nine Hells, right?
So
must
we kill the
be
demon and take its
necessary.
house. I don't see the issue.
Again, not only demons live in the Nine Hells.
And,
Well, find out what lives there then.
and people have
See if
friends.
it's something we have. See if it's something killable.
Have we actually tried talking to anything yet?
No. For all we know, we might be hunted. We might be welcomed. I do not know.
Well, if they hunt us, we run, and we shoot as we run. But I feel like we should try talking first. I mean, they're just wearing hoods, right?
Fair.
If you would like to do that, be my guest.
Okay. What does 3 levels of exhaustion give you? So that's
Disadvantage on ability checks, half speed, and disadvantage on attacks and attack rolls and saving throws.
all right. Well, if we're gonna be moving anytime soon, I'll go ahead and cast Greater Restoration on him once more, using some Diamond Dust.
Alrighty.
Speed is still halved.
Oh, you gotta be shitting me, man.
That's level 2 exhaustion.
That's the one I needed to get rid of.
Look, we can.
More spell points,
can-
more spell points.
We could probably maybe rest. Like we could probably sleep here. That would help Zars get a little bit better.
Okay. All right, then let's do that now.
Alright,
Because what
if we plan on doing that, let me finish reading this book. I'll recast the dome and we can sleep.
Oh, we don't even know what time it is. I was gonna say maybe we could go out and maybe look around some. But
Shao, you said it was occupied, right? Were they sleeping?
Well, the candelabras are lit.
You didn't see anybody though.
Nope.
I mean, you could have found out at least what lives there.
I thought you saw somebody in there.
Nope.
Alright. So, are you guys going to be staying in the bubble, or are you guys moving out?
Well, the dome's still up for now. I'm going
Right.
to finish reading the book, and while I do that, other people are going to do other things.
Okay. So, roll your book check. Okay. So, reading this, you start to see how they take these subcomponents of all these other spells, the control weather for the range, the darkness spell, the actual effect of it, and it begins getting twisted and turned into this more permanent type of manipulation via the anti-magic field and the permanent nature of that spell. equations begin to get more and more complex to them, you know, deriving sections from other spells and pontificating about, you know, the changes that they're making and why it's important and how it will affect the final spell, until it starts to get a little too heady for you, and you start to lose it. You start to not be able to follow what exactly they're trying to get at with this. You can keep pushing on, and because as you've started to not understand as much, you're slowing down a lot at this point. This is the really, really dense part.
It's fine. I'll keep reading.
Okay.
Wanna
So
find
another
out the
another
end
hour's
goal of
gone by.
this.
Yeah, you're almost finished. It's like only about another hour of reading you would need. Is anybody else doing anything at this time?
Just playing with Skitty. Speaking of which, like I asked earlier, do we have animal bond levels for any of our companions yet?
Oh. Yeah,
Or
so...
stats? Well, stats for Skitty at least.
yeah.
Let's say, were we doing bond levels in Anthony's campaign for from the creature book or whatever, the companion book?
Yes, we were going to be doing that.
Okay.
I'm
So
not
for
looking
us
at
who
it
have
now. I had it written down somewhere.
familiars, the bond level minimum is 8.
Yeah, so
Because
for
of
you
magical
guys, it's
creature.
going to be an 8.
You're gonna have to link that to me.
I mean, just put on you can just put on your sheet that you have bond level 8 for Luna.
Yeah,
Do
but
I-
was it two?
Did you ever say at some point I had something with the Drake that I have?
Yes. Can't remember where my notes for that was. Let's see.
Didn't you have a PDF of the Stibbles, babe?
Mm-hmm.
Where
That's
is it?
what Anthony's looking at. It's in
Yeah,
the
I can't-
compendium.
It's in the compendium.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Roll20?
No, in the compendium that I have on Google.
No. Well, where's that?
In the pinned messages.
No, it's not.
Alt rolls. No, scroll up. Amaya's alt rolls. It's pinned in there.
Yeah, you gave me access to that on Google, right?
Mm-hmm. This would be a good place to find some fiends if anybody wanted a fiend as a pet.
File is too big to preview.
Yeah, you have to actually download it.
Bacon pancakes.
I'd be
Bacon
built for some
pancakes.
Stibbles Codex of Companions.
Yeah, I'm downloading it.
Oh, it was a zip folder. That's why I wasn't able to find it.
Open with.
Oh, I already have
Google
it downloaded. I'm fucking dumb. I just delete that one.
How long does it take to download?
It was really fast. I just downloaded it and deleted it.
And it's done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's
I
see,
love
bond.
that Xfinity fucked up art.
Let's see. Bond levels are
Oh,
what?
I never told you how much it was. Do you want to know how much it was?
Yeah.
$107.
What
That's
was?
fucking right. That's fucking right.
So basically, a couple weeks ago, Xfinity really messed up and ended up charging me like $300 on a bill,
What the fuck?
and I ended up calling them about it, and they were like super apologetic. I'm like, yeah, I switched my plan because the rep told me I wasn't gonna have to pay or pay renting my modem anymore. And they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry. She like completely lied to you and changed your plan. Blah blah blah." So now we have, um, I forgot what our speed is, but it's like I think the second highest or the highest that Xfinity offers right now, and it's unlimited internet, and it's only like $107 a month.
For unlimited internet? Wait, do you guys
Yep.
are you guys limited?
Yeah. It's always limited.
What the fuck?
But with bond level 8, you get on the lookout and sharing is caring and interesting alliance. Which on the lookout means your companion is comfortable with sharing information about what it notices, which obviously because for us it's a magical companion, which is why its minimum bond level is 8. Sharing is caring. It will share food that it finds with you. But ours don't need to find food, so it's fine. And then
Well,
interesting alliance is your companion is willing to back you up in social situations while within 10 feet of your companion. You gain a +1 bonus on persuasion checks made against creatures with the same alignment as your companion.
Mm-hmm. So for Skitty, I would say like she'd probably be at like a 7 or an 8. She's pretty much at a at where
Familiar?
a familiar would be.
So, and a cat, since it's unaligned, uh,
Well, that's if we're using that as the stat block for Skitty still, because she's big.
no, I'm saying for my familiar.
Oh, for Blossom.
Yeah, no, it's not Blossom, it's Rose. Or Ruby, sorry. But since Ruby is unaligned, does that mean I get a +1 to persuasion checks against other unaligned creatures?
Yes,
Okay.
I would say so. I would say Luna and well, actually, I would say Ruby is a bond strength 10.
I'm sorry, did you say what I was with my Drake?
Not yet, he hasn't.
Okay.
Small set.
Um,
I'm gonna have to look up these bond level stuff because I might need to actually know what it is.
uh, the Drake is a level 3.
Okay.
And was Skitty level 7 or 8? Because there's big differences between the two.
Yeah. I would say 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know what I just realized? With this system, with our familiars, if we like treat them right and increase our bond strength, our familiars can get more HP.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just realized I was muted. What's Luna again?
They also got bond boons.
I would say Luna is a probably level 14. No, actually. Oh, I would say 16 to start. And that's just because Luna's been with us since the very
Oh.
beginning.
Yeah, and she's
So-
been like loved on and like had a pretty good bond with her.
I would even say that Shao has a bond with Luna as well.
Yeah. I mean, that is most certainly fitting.
For a bond strength of 4.
Where do you get the bond level information at?
It's
Page
under
Page
1,
124.
So with
What?
her being bond level 16,
Page 124 of the Stibbles Codex.
I don't even have that, I don't think.
she gets an
Is it-
extra. Luna gets an extra 3d4 minus 3 because she gets 3 bonus hit dice.
What level is she? Bond level?
16
Oh,
for
damn.
Luna because she's been with the party for a while.
Since session 1, pretty much, yeah.
I feel like this is
You also
it
gotta
would be a
choose 2
lot to
bond
do right
boons.
now. I'll do this later.
Like I said, you can just roll 3d4 minus 3 and then add that to whatever her current hit points are.
Okay, what am I rolling for hit points? I'll do that.
3d4 minus 3. Because the hit dice for her familiar is 1d4 minus 1. Then she gets 3 bonus hit dice. So she gets an extra 4 hit points. What was
On
her hit points
top.
before? So
Yeah.
7 total. Nice.
Pretty good.
Cool. Alright.
Also, guys, again, we can find new companions. We're in the 9 hells, so fiends might not be a bad idea.
And then also with familiars, keep in mind, I think we came up with that like every time a familiar dies, your bond strength level reduces by 2. Every time your familiar dies, and you have to resummon it. So, if you want to keep your bond strength high, don't let your familiar die.
Wow, there's actually a lot more fiends than I thought there was. Holy crap.
Yeah, and then you can at the end of the session you can look through all the bond boons, I guess. Because at level at 12, she gets a unique benefit from the list of bond boons. In the section
Okay,
below.
let me just read this one. Luna can hold a sword now because of companion combat training.
Wait, what?
Oh, companion
Your
combat training is
companion
one
has
of the-
observed your fighting tactics and has learned proficiency in a simple weapon.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
could hold. She could hold like
dagger.
a dagger or something in her
Yeah.
talons, and fucking do like a drive-by with a dagger. That'd be awesome.
Wait, which one did you take?
Well, he was just reading the companion combat training boon. So your companion has observed your fighting tactics and over time has learned how to handle a weapon of its own. It gains proficiency with one simple weapon. Granted, it has at least one appendage that can hold the weapon with.
Ignore all the duel stuff, by the way, because this isn't Pokemon.
Right.
So I don't think that we're gonna be using.
Are
the duel
you
feature.
sure?
I mean, unless you want to use the duel feature.
Uh, Alright, so back to Zaris reading a literal fucking textbook.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Let's go for one last roll. So you were reading through, and at this point where it starts talking about these super high level concepts of magic and whatnot, you get to a point and you're just like, not. This isn't making any sense anymore.
Do I get what the overall concept of the book is so far?
It's basically talking about building a spell that is extremely powerful, that has something to do with a large area of effect and something about light.
Does it go into specifics at all, or is it all just theoretical stuff?
Oh no, it goes into like extreme specifics to the point
Okay.
of like your finger has to be exactly at this position for this long, otherwise it doesn't work.
Got it. Okay. Well, I can try reading it again later. At least the parts that I don't understand anyway. Um, I did. Did we find somewhere else we wanted to move, or am I just recasting the dome here and we can sleep?
I say we might as well take our chances here. You haven't been disturbed since we got here.
All right. I'll just since it doesn't really matter. Since we're in the dome anyway, I'll ritual cast the dome, just to reset the time on it, and then with it recasted, I'll continue having Ruby keep watch as I sleep,
Alrighty.
and she can telepathically wake me if something comes up.
Alrighty. So the rest of you guys, what are you doing as Zars is beginning to conk out?
I won't do anything but cast Greater Restoration on him once more before we go
Okay.
to bed.
So if you get through a full rest, then that means you'd be
No.
full up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a shot of absinthe.
I will take a shot with her.
I'll be at full power.
And I'll
Sure, you
actually
guys
take a
take
shot.
shots of absinthe.
Oh boy.
It's extremely bitter. It's a very, very bitter drink.
Yeah, don't they only do it in like drops these days? Like, don't they use a dropper to put into drinks?
No, there are some drinks that are fairly heavy on the absinthe, like the absinthe frappe and more.
Huh.
Zaris at full power, by the way.
I'm probably thinking of concentrated absinthe, and where like they put like drops just on top for like the bitters, essentially.
Oh no, that's just standard absinthe, but it's more for the flavor. That just slight absinthe.
Well, yeah, it's very strong, so. I'm just gonna keep going until I get drunk. So.
Okay. About 4 or so shots, you really start to feel it.
Mr. Crab.
Alavar probably takes you about 6.
Yeah.
Gundor, is there anything that you were doing?
I'm still just waiting for whenever the party is ready to move out. I would just ask the party, are we going to be sleeping in shifts? Just to be safe.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no point in risking it.
Me and Oliver are drunk right now. Shaw's about to, pass out.
Secundor.
I will stay awake.
It wasn't even like a real question of who was gonna do the first one. Feels bad.
It's like, no, 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 I got it, I got it. It's like, no, go to bed. I've got it. I'm like, don't worry. All right,
Yeah,
so,
I'll just stay up for a watch.
yep. So, perception check.
Alright, let me pull my little screen up. Perception. Ah, ah.
Okay. Nothing really interesting happens. You do see one or two people that seem to walk by. None of those creatures that um, Alvar talked about, but just these humanoid shapes just kind of floating by.
They're floating by, they're not walking.
They're walking, but like their cloaks, like it makes it look like they're floating.
Okay, is there any of them that don't have a cloak or any of them that walk by at an angle where I could kind of see their face?
No, the two figures that you have seen walk by are both wearing cloaks. One was wearing like a dark crimson red, the other one was like a deep, almost cerulean purple.
Okay. Since they're drunk, the best person for me to wake up next would be Zaris.
Alrighty. So Zaris, if
He
you
is
would
making
like.
burritos currently.
Oh right, yeah, he's making burritos.
We can wait
Roll
if you'd like.
for him.
It should only be like 2 minutes.
Didn't think you guys were going to hell, did you?
No, I'm actually really surprised that the necklace took us to hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys never actually had a failure on the necklace before, so.
We've had a fail of it placing us where we didn't want to go on another plane, but never
Yes.
not going to the plane. So
Yes. Yeah, essentially there's two parts of it. If you make the save, then it takes you to the plane you want to go, but maybe not the place that you wanted to go on that plane. The other one is if you fail the check, it takes you somewhere where you didn't want to go. Gesundheit.
Thank you. Oh, I'm surprised my mic picked that up.
It sounded like John sneezing, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I thought John was the one that was sneezing. So, it, like, blocked out most of it. It made it a lot deeper.
Yeah.
He back now. Well, putting on his headset, then he back.
Something happening?
Yeah,
woke
you're
you up for
rolling.
your watch.
Huh. I'm rolling for my watch.
Yeah, we're taking watches.
But Rose is taking, or Ruby's taking my watch.
Well, you still need to roll for Ruby.
Oh, you're right. Right, you're right. Let's see, her perception +3, and she gets a +6 because it's doubled because it's a watch. 20 +6. Boom.
Nice. So Ruby goes outside and starts looking around. And she sees nothing too interesting. She sees people walking back and forth on the main street. She does see, however, she kind of flashes it in your dreams. A cart being wheeled by, this massively large creature. It's almost like shaped like a cow, but more, I don't know, caricatured a little bit.
Is it a minotaur on all fours?
exact- It kind of looks like a minotaur, but it's like an exaggerated cow without like the humanoid part. However, behind this cart, there are various creatures in chains being dragged along. Probably about 12 that you see in a line, just being dragged along behind the cart.
You said she flashes this into my dream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are the creatures that are being pulled along?
You see like this birdman creature. You see what looks to be 5 or 6 humanoids of varying skin color. You see what looks to be or you see 2 creatures with elongated skulls, green in skin. And at the end, you see a pair of what looks to be changelings.
Okay.
White
So the
pale skin.
changelings are the only race that I recognize.
That you could put like an actual race to, just
Got it.
because of your, knowledge with Shao. And then after those chained individuals come, you see a fairly tall woman-like figure in various black and brown and red, walking behind them, a whip made of brass, being drugged by her sides.
What does she look like?
She's, I mean, it's hard to tell at this distance, but like maybe 6.5 feet tall. Fairly built, like very, very well built. Carries a stature of power as she walks behind them. In her one hand, she drags along the whip made of brass, and she has very tight-fitting clothing and various adornments, uh, all in browns and reds and blacks.
Can I see any skin?
Yes, red skin. Red skin and what you believe to be a tail as well.
Ooh, so not a tiefling. Maybe a half dragon?
The tail is kind of thin and wiry.
I'll
Some
have to
sort of
do-
like a barb at the end.
I'll describe it to my patriots in the morning. I'll make a mental note of in my dream of what direction they are heading.
Okay. So, who is Ruby waking up next?
Who's gone?
Gundor.
Just Gundor.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. What'd you say?
Oh, shoot! I was just
No,
wondering.
I was asking who was getting woke up next.
She'll go and do like the cat rub thing against Alvar's face.
Okay.
Okay. Oh,
Kinda
my,
like-
my turn.
Bats at your face a little bit.
I nearly pushed her out of the bubble. Okay. Perception check for me.
All right. A very boring watch for you. Nothing interesting. You do see a very large humanoid figure with deep red skin, almost brown skin, walk by. Four other smaller figures trailing behind. The figure is very, imposing, probably about 10 feet tall at least, and thick black leathery wings on their back.
Scaled.
Not scaled.
Yeah, you said leathery wings.
I mean, you could say that about a dragon's wings too.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, scales on the skin. Okay. And do we need a fourth watch?
I'm gonna roll for it just in case.
Shao, also for you for your watch. Nothing interesting. But as the dome fades, you all feel from this comfortable, normal smelling area to this putrescent, sulfuric, dense air, the heat imposing upon you once again.
I'll pretty much just repeat. I'm gonna describe what Ruby sent to me in a dream last night with the wagon, what I assumed to be slaves behind the wagon with some creature with a tail being the slave owner, I suppose. I'll describe what all the different slaves look like.
I'll describe so. So, I mean, we all knew slavery was a thing in the Nine Hells. Question is now, do we risk just walking out there?
I would say no. I don't trust these people. Speaking of, I wanted to write down what all the slaves were. Again, I know there was 2 changelings. What were the others? Anthony?
What's that?
I know there was 2 changelings, but what were the other 10 slaves?
So there was like this Birdman,
Okay.
5 or 6 humanoids. That brings us to 7. There were
Wait, so it's 5 humanoids? Or is it 6?
6 humanoids,
Okay.
2
Nice.
changelings, and then 3 green-skinned figures with elongated skull shapes.
Okay, so that is 12. Go back up to 73 spell points. And I regain my inspiration dice.
And my spells are prepared.
I'm now at full power.
Alright, so what are you all looking to do now that you are awoke from your long rest?
Well, I don't know how time really works in the Nine Hells, but does the town seem busier at this time? At least in our area.
I mean, it seems like it's stayed normal. It's the same dreary coloration. Hasn't gotten darker, hasn't gotten brighter. Hard to tell.
Well, before we go anywhere, we need somewhere to go.
Shao, do you have an idea where you want to go?
mean, the tower seems pretty neat.
So when
Seems like
when
it's
I
pretty far off.
when I was in Luna's form and I was flying for at least a good few hours, it stayed the same size no matter how far I traveled to it. So something might be something magical about it.
I mean, it
Or
seems
illusion.
like if we're gonna find something that's, well, representative of the Nine Hells, that might be a good place to look.
Okay. Well,
I mean, or
guess
we can
we'll
just kill a Baylor and take its heart. Up to you
I
guys.
mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if we found one walking the streets after what I saw on my watch.
How would we? I mean, I'm not against the idea, but I don't know how we'd fashion a Baylor heart into a stone.
I don't know. Could
Get
also
away
use its
with
horns,
it.
I guess.
Get a what? What'd you say,
Boom.
babe?
I said, I don't know. We can also use its horns, I guess.
Oh.
Alright. Well, I know you and Zaros will be able to walk through the city just fine. What should me and
Well,
Igor do?
Maybe be able to walk through the city just fine. We don't know for sure. But as far as you two, I can just cast invisibility.
When the time comes, we'll just look like two mean-ass motherfuckers.
that's fine. But are we going into the? Or are we going more into the town now?
We're gonna try to head towards the tower, I guess. Has Ruby seen any tieflings on the streets?
There's a couple that you've seen. Most of the people that you've seen that are humanoid in shape, are of varying sizes, but they are of this kind of stockier, more
They're the
emboldened.
They're the larger, like 6.5 feet tall people.
Yeah, ranging anywhere from like, 5.5 to 7 feet tall, both male and female. They look a lot like you, varying shades of purples and reds and browns, with, much more elongated horns and tails and things like that.
Okay. I guess since we don't really have anything to go off of, you could make yourself into a tiefling. Well,
Sorry, what was the question?
thought you were going to pay attention.
I mean, she messaged me, so my bad.
I said since we don't really have much to go off of, and I know you can't really change your size, right?
No.
You can just turn. Your best bet right now is just to turn into a tiefling.
I can do that. Tieflings have goat feet.
What?
Tieflings have goat feet.
Goat feet?
Yeah, they have hoofs.
Do they?
Uh-huh.
Not all of them.
They got
Most of
hooves
them.
in this place. These.
I didn't think I had hooves.
This spooky.
In the Forgotten Realms, they have hooves. I should clarify.
Mr. Tumnus.
He hit me with his hoof. He did.
Yeah, I'll turn into a red tiefling with hooves and a tail.
Tiefling, yeah, okay. I was say tieflings don't usually have tails. Half dragons do.
So do
I
tieflings.
thought tieflings had tails, but
They do.
I'm not a tiefling expert.
I guess not all tieflings have tails, because I like.
No, not all of them, but
In Forgotten
guess some
Realms,
do.
tieflings either have cloven hooves, tails, or like snake eyes, or a sliver tongue. They always have
And
at
they're
least
only
one of
allowed
those
to
traits, or
be-
all of them.
and they're only allowed to have red skin, or shades between red and skin tone.
That depends on the lineage. Technically, like Levistus tieflings can be blue, but for the most part, that's true. Because
Yeah.
most tieflings in the Forgotten Realms are Asmodeus' bloodline due to
Mhm.
in the 1800s he went through and claimed himself as the god through occult worship,
Mhm.
essentially transforming all tieflings in the Forgotten Realms into Asmodeus' bloodline, turning him into a racial god.
Yep.
Madman.
But
Yes.
since then, demons like Levistus and stuff have reproduced as well, so
Mm-hmm.
it's just a lot more rare to find a different color tiefling. Like, much more rare.
Okay. Anyway, so you turn yourself into a tiefling. I will approach the edge of the street, and right before we walk out onto the street, I'll touch Gundor and Alivar and cast invisibility at 3rd level.
Okay.
Here we go.
And do your best to keep quiet. And then I'm gonna throw my hood up on my cloak and head out onto the street.
Fuck the choosers pose.
What?
What?
Was that meant for this
What?
group?
What?
Is
What?
that- is
Why?
that-
Why
is that-
tiefling
What?
porn?
Oh, jeez.
You're all horny
Oh.
bards.
Oh.
Oh, thank God.
You're all horny bards. Every single one
Oh,
of you.
thank God.
Not fucking horny bars. Like, oh my, look
thank
at
God.
the face. Look at the tongue. Look at the tongue on the first one.
You're all
That's
horny
not
bards.
wholesome. That's not wholesome.
That's not awesome.
I'm looking for a G-rated D&D game.
Look,
Get
look
off
at-
my Christian Minecraft server.
Look at
that's
the
the
hentai
tiefling you were
blush.
mistaking.
Look at the hentai blush on the second one. That's not wholesome.
Why is she giving him 10 gold?
To pay for the clipping of the hooves.
Oh. Oh, sure.
Because she's getting
Sure.
reshoot.
Uh-huh. I'm sure she was.
You can see him. He's held.
I'm here to play D&D.
You know, there's a page on Reddit for this. You can go do that there, okay?
All I'm saying is there's a reason I'm playing a bard, and I'm not ashamed to deny it.
That is my tiefling form.
Okay.
Well, it'll be combat tonight.
Alrighty, so you guys go on to the street.
Two invisible people at their backs.
2 invisible people at their backs.
Yep.
And then you guys are gonna start heading towards the tower. Okay. So you start walking, kind of keeping to the side roads where there aren't a lot of people, as you don't want to be caught. You walk, seeing a variety of devilish figures. Tails, no tails, male, female, from 7 foot tall down to, you know, to like 5.5 to 6 foot. You see imps flying around, some of them almost in swarms around certain figures, who just kind of give them a wave of the hand and they're off sending a letter to somewhere or something. You get onto one of the main roads and you see a couple of carts, 1 or 2 carts. In the one cart, you see what looks to be a stacking of bodies. Pale, emaciated, just kind of heaped into a pile in the back. The faces twisted in agony and fear. The other one, this brownish red, ruddy stone that is just stacked up. Little bits of dirt falling behind. You walk further and further, and as you come to another intersection, you find off to the right there is what looks to be like this large industrial-like building, almost like a foundry. These large pots boiling and burning away, flames shooting out the top of them. You see numerous humanoid figures in chains being whisked around by these larger, I guess you could call them like foot soldiers. Most with whips, some with cats and nine tails, others with just swords. As you come around this kind of lower pit area where all these foundries are, you see one of the teams that is carrying what looks to be like this bucket almost between 6 people, and one of the figures fall. They look to be a kind of bluish green skinned creature, humanoid, black hair, and seems to be running around them in a simple burlap tunic. And you see the one devil behind them whip them in the back, and as they heal up, they kind of get up again and grab the bucket, and when they try to pull up, they proceed to fall on the ground again. The devil proceeds to walk up to them. And you're, 70, 80 feet away from this happening, and you can't hear anything, but literally the devil just walks over them, picks up their foot, and then proceeds to slam down on the back of the skull. And the creature just lays there. And deep down, you hope they get up, but they don't.
What kind of
And then
creature
you're-
was it that he stomped on?
It was
Bluish
like
green?
this bluish green skinned figure
Humanoid.
with black hair. Humanoid. But you couldn't necessarily pick out the race.
Got it.
As you guys kind of whisk yourselves away, from that experience, you see the figure pointing at the rest of them around the bucket, pointing to the body as they kind of begin to crowd around and pick up the limbs. Further and further you go. It's just more city. How far do you want to see about traveling as you are attempting to get closer and closer to the tower?
I don't know. Travel for 8 hours.
Well, we have an hour until the spell.
Well, yeah, I was planning on recasting invisibility as many times as we need, or as many times as I can, rather.
So it's up to y'all.
I don't know. Well, 8 hours, I think.
You said that the like obsidian tower is like in the middle of town, right?
No,
Or is it
we
like
can
just off in the distance?
yeah, just off in the
Off
distance.
in the distance, yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I'd say that we just continue traveling.
Okay.
Yep. And I'll recast invisibility. Like each time it's gonna run out, I'll recast it at a third level on both of them again. So if we're traveling for 7 more hours, that will be 35 spell points, or however long we're gonna travel.
All right. Well, after about 3 hours of traveling,
So 10 spell points.
the tower does not seem any closer.
What I told you guys.
Does one of you know dispel magic?
I mean, obviously I do, but
Yeah. I don't think.
what am I supposed to dispel?
Yeah, the spell plane.
I don't know, I guess we can try this
Right.
first. I'm gonna cast detect magic and see if I can see like a magical boundary or anything.
Okay.
No, that's.
You look and you don't see anything. No magic or notable, relations necessarily.
Okay, so it might not be
Has
magic.
the town gotten farther away?
You're still in the middle of the city.
Yeah, like we're obviously we can tell we're moving through town, but
The town hasn't necessarily gotten any smaller or bigger. It's just existing around you.
No, I wasn't sure if like after an hour if we would have like left the town's boundaries.
Oh, no.
We'll just continue towards. Well, I suggest we continue towards the tower.
When I was flying as Luna, I didn't see an end to the city, correct?
No. You didn't.
Uh-huh. Well, the walking commences.
we'll walk for 5 more hours, I guess, for a full 8 hours of travel the day.
We'll get somewhere at least.
Okay. So you go further and further. You see a large citadel-like fortress standing in its solid iron construction. Literal bricks of iron that have been welded together with some sort of lava. You walk next to it, and it's strange how imposing these walls just feel. Further and further you move. Nothing really comes. No other notable figures, or there's no plaza or, you know, area of shopping. It's just city with street and then alleyway and then bigger street, main thoroughfare with tons of wagons and slaves and material being pressed around. It's imposing. So you get to pretty much the end period of your time. You're at about hour 4 of those last 5 hours. Is there anything you guys want to do?
Excuse me.
Yes, Gundor?
Oh no, I sneezed and I thought my mic picked it up, so I said excuse me. But there actually is something I wouldn't mind trying. Um, so it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem like we're really getting much closer, right?
No, it
Yeah.
doesn't.
Okay. Just a random thought that Gundor has. He's gonna like put his hand on the ground, and he's just going to feel. Is there any like vibrations going through the ground at all?
Well, you touch the ground, and it's extremely hot to the point of almost burning.
Ooh, that was a bad idea.
All our shoes are probably in rough shape.
I thought maybe since it feels like we're never getting farther, maybe the ground is just endlessly going, or maybe it's moving on its own, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, I understand your magic didn't work, but maybe there's something of higher power here.
Well,
And I'll
oh,
yeah,
go ahead. Sorry.
I'll close my eyes and pop a divine sense.
Okay. There are fiends everywhere. Everywhere that you look, of anyone who is not in shackles, is of a fiendish nature. Some more powerful than others.
What was I going to say? Oh, other than the citadel that we passed, was there anything else notable that we passed?
No. And that citadel was at about probably the 6-hour mark. 5 to 6 hour. And even then it was massive. It took probably 15 to 30 minutes to walk by it, walking around the exterior.
Oh boy. Well, in the last hour, I will keep an eye out for maybe like a decent sized alley that we could go down to rest or at least chill for a little while. That would be out of the way and out of sight.
Sure. Roll a perception check. Okay. At this point, all the streets are kind of looking the same almost. It's weird. It's almost as if you're going through a labyrinth and all the walls are the same. You look around for any kind of potential respite, and everything seems to just blend. It's houses and maybe storefronts. You're not sure. You're kind of just walking by and places that have things hanging in their windows and whatnot. It looks too grotesque to even want to go in. The only place of any interest that you see is it's a 5-story building, and it has a large iron sign on the front of it.
That says.
It's called the Discomfort Inn.
Hmm.
Heaven
Okay.
in hell.
Well, I guess it's worth a look. I'll head up the door and open it up. See, yeah, I'll just open the door.
Okay. You open the door, it seems warm and inviting inside. Candelabras seem to be lit and whatnot.
Okay. I'll head in, look for the innkeeper, so to say.
Okay. When you come in here, the flooring is covered, or the floor is actually made of this super dark, almost maroon red wood. The purple rug over top of it, super, super thick and deep in color. The walls have accents of this strangely turquoise, almost brass, type of textured material. The area around here has various pieces of furniture, tables, chairs, places to sit. You see a couple of different patrons. You see 2 of these devil-like creatures sitting down, seemingly having conversation. The one has a golden goblet in front of him. The other one has a silvered plate with various parts of meat of some sort.
They speaking in a language I understand.
Yes. And infernal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I try to listen in as I pass by?
Sure. They're just talking about, their capture of, their capture of a number of souls that they managed to, swindle from a higher being out in the astral sea, and they're waiting to get their payment from the local, not supervisor, but like gang lord or warlord.
Got it. Okay.
But yeah, and all of you guys are visible, right? You drop the invisibility for the
No.
2. No.
I'm
Okay.
keeping invisibility on the human-looking people.
Okay.
I didn't mind. I already did. Is this during the 8th hour, or is this like? I need to cast invisibility again.
No, there's still a bit of time for
Okay.
invisibility.
Cool.
Pop out.
But yeah, I will head up to the innkeeper if there is one.
Yeah, so there is behind kind of like this tavern bar almost. There is a kind of portly devilish figure. He's got long black horns that kind of curl around and back underneath of his cheeks. He's got a fairly thick goatee coming down to about his mid chest. He wears a kind of dark brown shirt with a red leather apron draped underneath. He's currently cleaning a golden goblet. Um, Sees you, kind of smiles with his half tooth broken, toothy grin. And sets down the goblet and kind of leans onto the bar in front of you. Oi, never seen you around these parts. What can I do for you?
Yeah, I'm new in town. I just looking for a room.
I could do that. What lay you from? He kind of starts pulling out this metal book from underneath the desk and sets it down on the table with a loud thud.
Do I know the name of any layers of hell?
I don't know. Roll a history check.
This would be Chalice Rum, and she doesn't speak Infernal, so.
The first one.
Oh, yeah, am I speaking? Is he speaking Infernal?
He is
The- er-
speaking infernal.
Okay.
I also speak Infernal.
I
So
don't
yeah,
know.
I am speaking. I obviously am speaking back at Infernal, but history check, right?
Yeah, it's history check.
Yeah.
First one.
Well, I mean, you're in the city of Dis, and that since all you know is the city, it might be the entire layer. I mean, there's some spells that you know that are kind of devilish-ish. Maybe those are layers? I don't know.
In Infernal, I can whisper out to him, City of Brass.
The city of Brass is on the elemental plane of fire.
Is it really?
Yes.
Are you serious?
I'm
I
dead
swear on
serious.
Well,
I swear
I'm
in
gonna,
Matt's campaign.
I'm gonna make
Yo.
you roll a stealth check, Alavar.
You know what? The City of Brass still isn't bad.
The city of Brass is the capital of the plane of fire.
You want to make it a stealth check?
Yep, it's a stealth check to see how well you can whisper and.
It's
uh,
advantage because you're invisible.
And I'll say at advantage, yep, because you're invisible.
And I whispered it Infernal.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty okay. Okay.
So you're just like blanking for a hot second, and then you hear Alavar whisper in your ear, "It's the city of Brass."
I'll respond to him Infernal. I'm from the city of Brass.
He opens up the book and he grabs a quill. It's this beautifully crafted brass feather, and kind of pulls it over with the inkwell. Ah, you're not even from the Nine Hells, then. Huh. Interesting. What are you doing so far away from home, then? On a
Traveling.
business trip?
Yep. You could say that.
Aye, it's not some of that, higher level stuff that us normies aren't allowed to know about. Eh?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I like your style. So, I'm guessing it's one of those, you'll have to kill me if you tell me one of those things.
I'll just.
Anyways, what
Yeah,
what do
I'll
you
just
and your
give him the
friend
head
need?
nod. like, upper head nod, like, yep, you know what's going on. Uh, just one room for me and my lady friend here.
I see. And if you don't mind, she's quite a looker. If you want to pass her around, eh? Kind of gives you like a, the thumb on the nose.
Maybe once I'm done with her, we'll see.
Get her hoofs done.
I've got to play along. Relax.
It's not like you know what he's saying anyway.
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't.
Yeah. Then I'll just say, what's the biggest room you got?
Well, I mean, it kind of like looks and kind of scrolls to the back. Well, we got our suite of Dissipator, the good Lord himself, who lets me own this, and doesn't make me fetch souls all the time. But that's the biggest one we got. It's a pretty big suite for just the two of you.
I like to live luxuriously. I'll take it.
You must be doing good for yourself then, out in the city of Brass. Guessing
Those-
you're catching a bunch of them souls that are burning in other ways, eh?
Oh yeah, I'm a top tier bounty hunter.
Ah, right hand man of maybe one of the warlords.
Nah, I can't go giving away too much information now, can I?
Ah, you're right. You're right. All
How
right.
many souls do you have?
How long do you think you'd be staying?
Probably not more than 2 nights.
2 nights, eh? That's something we could work out. All right. All right. And you want to pay now, or do you want to pay when you're done and kind of run a tab in case you need anything?
Start a tab for me.
Ask the price. What's the
Alrighty.
price gonna be?
The currency. What's the currency?
You
I-
pay with your soul, young man.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I'm not metagaming this shit. I'm
Yeah,
going
you're
on
just-
just going along.
You just sign here.
Would you like a credit card?
If you sign up
real
now, you
demons,
get
let's be
50,000
honest.
soul points. He
Get that
writes in
card
his book and then proceeds to hand you over these two. They're like these kind of oblong, two-pronged, almost brass knuckle-looking things. So, these are your room keys. Top floor, as it is our largest suite, but only for those who know how to rake them in. But if you need anything, you can actually catch one of the floor imps who send on a message down here, and whether you want Phlegosian blood wine, or if you're wanting something a little more spicy, we can send stuff up for you.
Thanks. As I'll take the keys. I'm assuming there's just stairs, right? That I can see.
Yes. Yeah, there's a set of stairs off in the far end of the main room area.
Alright, and then I'll just start walking towards the stairs and motion just nod my head for Shao to follow.
As I leave, I'm gonna wink at the guy that he was talking to.
You don't know what I said.
No, I don't. But I'm gonna wink at the guy that you were.
Why
talking
would you
to.
wink? Huh?
Good way to get a discount.
Uh,
Let's
On
changelings have sex with all things,
What's the
not just
price?
That's what I
You just
wanna know.
bought the most luxurious suite in this hotel, man.
yeah, I wanted a big room so that way we wouldn't be like all crammed into one
understand.
room.
You didn't ask if it was cold.
I'll find
So
it. That's why I said start a tab so I can find out what the currency is before I pay it.
But what if we just don't end up paying it?
I mean that's an option too. But
Oh,
like
this is getting juicier and juicier.
Next thing you know, you're gonna get a stamp on the wrist, and it's gonna be like what happened with the Shao. If you don't bring me back a sword, you're just gonna self-destruct.
I love how the turns have tabled. I've got the two most, like, not worried about anything characters, now worried about everything, and I got the two most calculated characters not worrying about anything. This is amazing. uh,
anywho,
well, I am still being calculated, but I don't worry, especially given everything Zaris has gone through. He doesn't worry about shit anymore. He just fucking does shit now.
it's okay. If we have to kill a village, we have to kill a village.
See, Gundor is like the father figure, or he thinks he is, and from what you're talking, it's just like the teenage years, and he's just like, oh shit.
crap, not this again.
Yeah.
One of them's drinking, the other one's just neglecting life.
I'm not neglecting life.
Be fair, Gundor, you didn't hear that conversation either.
Yeah, none of
Like,
you
no
guys knew
turn.
that conversation
Oh
except
yeah,
for
for,
Zaris.
Yeah,
for sure. for sure.
Alavar understood the in conversation. What you know?
Yeah, Alavar understood.
that was it. Just me and Alavar.
The one time that your infernal language has come in handy.
Thank God, finally, dude. I feel useful.
Yeah, and this was just on a bad roll for.
Yeah. being a tiefling comes in handy for once. Jeez.
Was it the worst roll? Was it the worst roll?
Oh, I'm sure that one could have been worse.
Pretty bad considering it was on a D100.
But yeah, I'll just head up to my room. I'll just head up to our room. So.
I could just imagine like this side conversation of like Shao like talking to the air in common as like you're having this conversation.
Really?
So you guys proceed to walk up to the room, open it up, and it's a fairly nice room setup. I mean, the furniture is beautifully crafted and finely made. You have this almost California king like bed with all of these pillows, and it's just so over the top and you know, just embellished beyond.
And what was the name of the guy that he said it was the what suite?
The Despater suite.
Spader. Okay. And he said he was the warlord that lets him run this place.
Yes.
More you know, more you know. Write that down. Spader. Warlord of Dis.
Of just what?
Dis, the city.
Just what? If only the name of the world was. I mean, if only the name of the city was D's.
These
nuts.
But yes, it's beautifully crafted. There is an opulent, almost oriental rug. The bathroom in this place is of pitch black porcelain slate, and you know, it's fantastically crafted. Definitely no holds barred on the design of this place. Unfortunately, there is only one bed,
That's fine. I planned on that.
but there is kind of like a little sitting area with like 2 love seats, a center coffee table, things like that.
And once we get into the room and I close and lock the door, I will drop the invisibility on Alavar and Gundor.
Okay.
Well,
So, how much was the room? I didn't see you
didn't-
pay him.
He didn't say, but I opened a tab.
you didn't say.
I got the
Alright.
biggest room I got the biggest room he had, and I convinced him that I'm some big shot from the city of Brass. So he let me open the tab.
Why the hell would you say the city of Brass?
Hey.
You didn't
There
know
was
that
a lot of pressure.
you didn't know that he said city of Brass. He said it in Infernal.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wait,
That's
did you
right.
say it
Yeah,
in
actually, you
Yeah.
have no idea about
whispered
any
to
of
me
that.
Inferno- in
It's spelled
Infernal.
the same in every language, by the way.
City of Brass in Infernal is just City of Brass? I don't think so.
City
City
of
of Brass
Brass.
is a common
I mean,
name.
you
what's
could
the name
it
in
could just
Spanish?
kind of be like Chinese or Japanese or anything like that, where those be
Tokyo.
speaking and then English word and then they'll keep speaking.
But
You know.
but Infernal,
What's in Spanish,
like,
Steven?
The font.
Pronouns are the same in all languages.
yeah, but it's different though because Infernal's like
It's
a different
pronounced
like
different.
yeah, it's like Infernal's entirely like different language than just like the languages we have here on Earth. What?
It is what it is.
Yes, it is what it is.
Okay, just say yes or no. Would Shao have noticed what I said when I said the City of Brass, or when Alavar said the City of Brass to me? That's all we're arguing on.
Yeah. I would say she would have noticed Alavar said something because she knew where Alavar kind of was.
Okay.
But
What script does Infernal use, by the way?
Let me see. 'Cause I have Abyssal. It's Abyssal / Infernal. It's kind of, they use the same script.
yeah.
Actually, so you know Abyssal, don't you?
I know Abyssal, yes, but
So you would have been able to pick up on things like here and there, but it wouldn't be an exact translation.
Yeah. So like
it's essentially
That-
dialects, like how Chinese has like 20,000 dialects.
yeah, exactly. That's basically how it is.
So I can't speak it, but I can like understand.
You can
some
sort.
Chinese.
You can,
Pieces,
yeah,
parts.
you can pick up on pieces.
So I would say you were able to pick up on Alavar
like-
stating City of Brass.
Yeah, like it's like kind of like the difference between Portuguese and Spanish, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's actually the best description for the two.
Okay, so yeah, so you did pick up on City of Brass, but you didn't know what it was for. Not
So
necessarily.
my
right?
question still stands. Why the hell would you say City of Brass?
I assumed from stories that I've read, I thought it was in the 9 house as well.
I
No,
mean,
it's on the elemental plane of fire. Speaking of which, what
Well,
exactly were you saying to him?
just telling
I see.
him. He asked me where I was from. I told him City of Brass. He bought it. Told him I was here on a business trip. Like I said, he thinks I'm some big shot. I can't tell him too much or I have to kill him, kind of thing.
Maybe you should have asked him what he felt about other races, like, humans, half elves, Asimirs.
Well, seeing as how we're on the Nine Hells, it's I think it's just better to assume that they'd probably be hostile towards you, and I don't want to get caught asking the wrong questions. So I just kind of went along with what he thought I was, got the room, and yeah, now we're here.
Okay, so now we have the room. What's next for us?
Well, it's a safe place to stay for 2 days. I got that's how long I got the room for. It gives us 2 days to figure out what exactly we're gonna do.
And what exactly are we going to do now? We haven't made progress on getting to that tower.
Well, I was thinking, I've seen the tower. I should be able to scry on the location.
Man's worth a shot.
And also, for enhanced security, I am going to go over to the door and I'm going to take out some gold dust and I'm going to sprinkle gold dust on the doorknob and cast Arcane Lock. And I will designate that only us four in the room can open the door.
Okay. Sweet.
Plus, it's still locked normally with the key as well. So
Yep. It just makes it more difficult, even with the key, to get in and stuff.
then the DC, if they try to pick the lock,
It's plus 5,
it's
right?
plus 10. It increases
10.
it increases the DC by 10 for any lock picks to pick it,
Okay.
or to break it open or anything like that. To break it open or pick it increases the DC by 10, whatever it would be. Just subtract a dose of gold dust and the spell points.
So, is the way we're gonna keep getting around is just you constantly making us invisible, Zars?
Until we come up with a better alternative.
We fight our way through.
Well, I'll look towards Shao. For the next couple days, do you need that? That helps you stay invisible? Because maybe one of us could use it to try to help save some magic for you guys.
Are you talking about my cloak?
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose not, but if we get into combat, it will be fairly... How do I
Well,
say? Disadvantageous for me.
well, if you want to keep using it, I'm cool with it. It's yours. But I just, I mean, I'm looking at Zaris over here. He's already had to use, I'm assuming, a lot of his magic for the past few hours.
Nothing I can't handle. As I'm gonna sit down and start prepping, scrying and start casting scrying over the next 10 minutes.
Alrighty then.
Take out my silver mirror.
Right, and I'm gonna mention that, like, after the scrying, it's probably a good point to end the session because I have to get up pretty early tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine. Alright. So, who are you looking to scry on? Or what?
I am scrying on the tower that we can see in the distance.
Okay. So, as soon as you attempt to scry, the spell does not succeed. Something is blocking you from being able to view the tower.
The level 5 spells at 7 points. Yeah. Okay. Well, something's protecting that tower. No, I can't scry on it. It's got some sort of enchantment.
Wonder why a tower would be. Well,
It's
when-
my first guess would be that the ruler of this level of hell, or at the very least this city, would be there. And it's probably, I don't know what else is enchanted against, but it's at the very least it seems to be enchanted against divination magic, so to prevent prying eyes from spying on him.
The
Or
ruler
her.
is the ruler is the one who's in the tower, I assume. No one can
Also,
reach it unless it's them to.
I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it, but apparently there is a warlord in this city known by the name of Dispater. Ring any bells?
Let's see.
anything I would have heard.
Yeah, so Shao, you can roll a history check, and Alabar, you can roll a history or religion check.
I'll inspire Alabar. Ooh,
Okay.
Wrong choice.
eh,
I'll roll the d10 though.
10.
Okay.
Again,
I mean, from what you guys remember, at least from the books that you've read and stuff, Dispater's pretty big in the Nine Hells. You
Do you
know that
remember which one?
name.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's basically it. You know that name.
Oh,
And
I was
you know
gonna
it-
ask if there's any, if we know what layer he rolls over, or if he rolls over any layer.
He's one of the big 10 of the Hells.
So
That
he
much you
does
know.
control a layer.
More than likely. He's a big name in the Nine Hells. And probably rules one of the layers, so probably this one.
That's
So
kind of
he-
scary if I'm being honest.
So more than likely, he's probably the guy in the tower.
Yeah, that's sort of oof. Because if you think about it, the first layer of hell has a CR26 guarding it. I can't imagine what this layer of hell has.
Well, isn't the the first layer of hell like the hardest, even though it is the first one?
Avernus is where the forces of hell invade the Abyss and other material realms.
Yeah.
So it's like where their armies are stationed. It's not necessarily the hardest, but it's where all of their armies are stationed. Or at least the majority of their armies are stationed.
Think Mad Max. That's essentially a
Yeah.
Avernus.
As you go down farther, you hit the harder and harder and harder demons and fiends.
But they're not as plentiful, right?
Correct. Well, no, the strong ones are a lot more plentiful in the bottom layers because they're the ones that are pulling the strings in the top layers.
And who knows about whatever other machinations that even the devils hide from.
Yeah. Not to mention Asmodeus literally controls, like, everyone. So, like, he literally has avatars of himself that are also, like, lords of hell. So,
Yeah.
just so he can, like, sow despair and keep everybody warring so nobody actually turns against him.
Good thing that the gods in D&D aren't omnipotent, because if he knew we were here, we'd be in deep shit.
They aren't omnipotent, no, but if you're in their lair, they know exactly where you are at all times.
We're not in his lair though. Like if we're like he doesn't know. Like all I'm saying is Asmodeus doesn't know exactly where everything, like where every single being that is on the Nine Hells is at every exact moment.
If he looks for them, he does.
But omnipotent means he just knows everything. So like if he was omnipotent, he would have sensed us coming into, like, fucking teleporting into the Nine Hells, and then if he didn't want us
If he
there,
was monitoring 24/7, he would, but he doesn't monitor everything 24/7 because he has to deal with his other avatars and stuff. But he's a greater deity. Greater deities are omnipotent if they are within their realm. Nine Hells is Asmodeus' plane of existence. He knows everything that happens in the Nine Hells.
like I said, at the moment, it doesn't seem like he knows we are here. Because he probably wouldn't like the fact that we are here if he knows who we are. But either way. After the scrying fails and we have the little conversation, I'll set up the dome. And we can, like, I'll set up the dome around the, well,
Do we need a dome if we're in a room?
extra protection, but I don't know. I guess not. I'll sleep on the floor though, and whoever can take the bed, I don't care. And I'll just have Ruby sit on like the coffee table and keep watch, just in case.
Luna will join Ruby, armed with a firebolt cantrip from the wizard spell list. Thanks.
Is that what you chose?
Codex of Companions.
Is that what you chose?
Yeah.
Oh my god, which one is that one?
She's going to be magically inspired. She can learn one spell of the wizard spell list.
Magically
That's a
inspired.
cantrip.
Where is that? Oh, nice. Through truly fantastical means, your companion gains modicum of control over the arcane. They learn one cantrip for the spell list. Dope. So Luna can now cast Fireball or Firebolt.
Yeah, not bad.
Pretty good. And I'm sure it just casts it at first level, so.
Oh yeah, it's at the lowest level.
But still, I have a familiar doing 1d10 damage. Pretty good.
Level up, level up.
Just for going into another plane of existence. Yeah, right.
On strength at 12,
First-
so I get another one.
You should have. Do you get? I think you'll 12 is when you get the first bond boon, don't you?
Yeah, and 15 you get another.
Oh, yeah, because she's 16.
Imagine the Drake learning a fucking.
I was just thinking, I was like,
Yeah,
what
that's
spell?
scary.
What spell would I even give
Like
to a Drake?
acid spray. Like that's really cool.
Pretty cool. Poison spray.
Yeah.
Or just give him, I don't know, minor illusion, so it can like give us dialogue, talk to us.
Wait, what? With a find familiar spell, what type of creature? Like, technically, our creatures are not like the base creature type. They are what? Let me see. They're a
They're-
fae, right?
Yeah,
they're
technically a
fae.
fae.
So would that fill the requirement for for example fairy tricks where it must be a fae?
Well, yeah, anything that a fae would be, it's a
Got
fae
it.
creature.
Because I'm just let's see, because your fae companion unlocks inherent magic that grants it power over how others perceive it. Once per day, it can cast disguise self. The
So-
effects of the spell last for 8 hours.
Could you turn them into like a small gnome at that point?
Essentially with that ability, the disguise self can just change like the looks of the. They can't change the dimensions, like how big or small the creature is. Well, you can change your dimensions a little bit, I think they can appear to be 6 inches larger or smaller.
That's really cool. I would probably pick that one for the Drake, just to make it look like a horse in case we're in a place where like they're like, oh, we really
Oh,
don't like
but
Drake.
the Drake's not a Fey though.
But you
Oh,
could
yeah,
use
that's
the
right.
feats for the beast.
Yeah, the dragon, the Drakes. Yeah, there's like focus senses for must be a beast.
And some that go off your score?
No,
Correct?
it's the creature's score.
Ah, bloody bitch. How do I get a 18 in wisdom?
Just some creatures have to have a high score. I believe our Drakes had like 18 strength, didn't they?
Something like that, yeah.
So like they could have taken like the where is it? If we got them high enough to get it, they could have taken the bulked up beastie, which would give them +1 to attack and damage rolls that rely on strength, double their carrying capacity, and then give them advantage on strength checks and saving throws. All right, but are we doing anything else before we end the session?
I figure since you know, most of us have to get up for work tomorrow, we can call the session right there.
Sounds Gucci.
So after you guys find yourself in the discomfort inn in the middle of this, in the middle of hell, in Erudis.
Middle of this hell.
This to 9
Ah.
hells.
Now in debt 100 souls.
I was not expecting you guys to actually want to kind of stay here for as long as possible and just. I was
You
figuring
sent us
like,
to a plane where I don't have the stone. Like
right. I should have thought about that a little bit
God.
more.
We got nothing better to do.
What did
I
you
was-
think what was gonna happen?
I figured you guys were gonna teleport here, kind of smell the air, see the devils walking around, and go, "Oh shit, I don't want to be here." Click the button, and then have another mishap that sends you somewhere else within the planes.
You know, we could do that, guys. Next session, we could do what the DM actually wants us
No.
No.
I'm having fun because I'm like, ooh, there's so much I can do. Like with
It's the
this.
I
DM.
need the stones now. So.
It's the DM's job to move the main campaign wherever we want to go.
Oh,
Leave
I mean,
Icewind
there are
down, we'll see how
machinations.
that goes for you.
There are machinations happening in the background, no matter what. It's just whether or not you're there to be there for them. Like when you guys went to the Feywild, and then all of a sudden there was an undead war happening.
There'll be warrants for our arrest for sure.
Because you guys were in there for 2 days, and it turned into 2 weeks.
Oh, so is this
How does-
escalating?
How do,
Is this
how does time
escalating
work
our
in-
problem?
How does time work in the 9 hells? Same, slower,
Same.
faster?
Tell you
There's no
what.
information on it, so. We
The
only have the information
Feywild-
on how time works in
Let Anthony.
Mechanus and Astral.
Yeah, the only places that have time dilation or anything like that are the Astral Sea, Mechanus, and Feywild.
Okay.
And with the Feywild, it's all very timey-wimey, flimsy-flamsy magic. So you can be in there for like 10 days, but when you come out, it could be 10 minutes, 10 hours, 10 days, 10 weeks, or 10 years. But in the Astral Sea, everything ages at, I think,
one 9,000th and one 9,999th. There we go. Of the
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
so it's like um the whatever it is, the in the magicians they're the what's the play what the Netherlands where time really
Yeah, it's
pretty
kind of
much
like the Netherlands.
the
yeah.
Netherlands and the magicians time practically doesn't pass there at all.
Yep, that's basically it.
Like 1,000 years in the Netherlands is like 1 day.
That's why Azula decided to use the Astral Sea for her library, so she could extend her life.
Like
Mhm.
1,000 years in the Netherlands is like 1 day on Earth.
Yep.
No, because the Netherlands, the way that it was, they did the ratio. It was like 2 weeks in the Netherlands was like 2
something like
years
that.
on Earth.
Yeah, it's something, but either way, it's like time passes very slow in the Netherlands, is what I was getting at.
Yeah.
It's like very, very, very slow.
But yeah, there is a reason Azula chose the Astral Sea to set up her library.
But yeah, then I think Mechanus, it depends on where you are in Mechanus. So like there's pockets of like really fast time and really slow time and
From what
time.
I've recalled, in Mechanus everything is what's the word? Relevant? No, is it relevant? Relevant?
Relative?
Relative. Yes, there we go. Whatever you think it is how it works in Mechanus. Like,
Yeah.
if you think time goes fast, then it goes fast. If you think time stops, then time stops.
Right, exactly.
Oh, well then why
Yeah.
didn't she just go there?
Because the Astral Sea has many less visitors and many less automatons than Mechanus. And it's
But the
fucking
thing-
massive.
The thing about Mechanus, though, many, if not all of those automatons are intelligent,
Yep.
Yeah.
and some of them extremely intelligent. Like
Have you heard of the
30
Inevitables?
plus.
The
Yep.
Inevitables?
Yeah, the
The
Inevitables.
Inevitables.
No.
Oh, I've watched like an hour-long, in-depth like
Video
whole
on them.
show about yeah.
They're
super
the
great.
Inevitables are essentially the CPU of the universe, I would
Are
say.
are they like Daleks?
Let's
They're
just
essen-
say if you go
Clockwork Titans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're the highest CR creatures. They literally punch Krakens to death and then drag them back with them if the Kraken gets too ambitious and it's belt work.
Well, guys,
So they're
going
the highest
to,
CR creatures aside from gods.
Go ahead and get on off.
All right, good night,
Alright.
John.